Why is it that for some people, no matter how little they try, they're able to manifest everything they want, no matter what they do? And for other people, no matter how hard they try, no matter how much effort they put out, ending in complete exhaustion, they are left with nothing to show, or maybe even manifest the opposite of what they want. Now, it may seem like luck, may seem like something they're just born with, but there's something deeper going on. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how we manifest ourselves, but more importantly, I'm going to show you how you can leverage these facts so you can be part of group one and break out of those painful repeated patterns and use all that effort to create the life that you prefer. So let's get started. Well, first, we got to get clear on what in the world manifestation is. If you've watched any videos about this, there's a lot of different things. One of the common mistakes I see is that the idea of manifestation being something you have to start doing, as if it's something that you're not doing, you learn the skill and then you do it, and then you can create the life you want. Well, if we go to the etymology, the root of the word, manus in Latin means hands. And manifestation is simply to make visible what is invisible, to experience in the tangible world what has already been created in the intangible world. So it's something that we're always doing. Even people walking around on the planet right now who have no idea this exists, they are manifesting. They are creating in their tangible world what is happening in their invisible world. For a lot of people, this could seem like a woo-woo or airy-fairy kind of idea, but I want to help bring in quantum physics to show that this is our reality. Now, every possible reality of you exists right now. We know that according to quantum physics, but it exists in the waveform. Now, if you think about radio waves, if you had a radio in front of you, you could turn it to 97.1, and that would tune in around here to a country station. Now, if you tune into another station, 101.1, maybe that was oldies. Both of those exist right now, but depending on what you tune into, you're going to collapse that potential wave into a tangible experience by your attention and focus. So right now, I've written out that right now, in the current moment, the current you exists, but also the ideal version, and that could go in an infinite variety of different waves. Now, another part of quantum physics that I want to bring into this is the idea of superposition. That in the quantum world, something can exist at the same time in two different places. Now, you can go and research this, but I want to make it as simple as possible, meaning that in that wave potential, all of that exists right now. And if we bring in the double slit experiment, which has been duplicated numerous times over the past 100 years, what takes the potential of what we can manifest into what we do manifest is attention, is energy of focus, even if that is unconscious, which we're going to get to a little bit later in part 2. But what I want you to understand is every possible reality exists of you right now. If you find yourself continually to repeat the current you, the undesirable you, the heartbreak you, the rejected you, the abandoned you, the not good enough you, the ideal version of you, even though it exists, it's going to be invisible, because guess what? Your attention is over here. As you learn to take your attention here and cut the cords of the current, then it's going to be hidden. It's going to stay in wave potential, but you're going to collapse the potential and manifest, bring from the invisible world into the tangible world, this ideal version of you. Now, that is the theory, that is the overarching quantum physics aspect to this. Now let me share what the details of what this looks like in your life as to why you're manifesting something that you don't desire and you want to be over. So how we actually manifest us, how we take that first part of framework of quantum physics and what it looks like in our own life. Well, we're manifesting what is happening in the invisible world. So what is the invisible world that's being created in our tangible world? It's our subconscious beliefs. And even if you're affirming, even if you're thinking of the desired future, of that feeling, wanting so badly to see the change, believing you can, if unconsciously it hasn't changed, which we're going to get into in part 3, I'm going to show you exactly how you can do this. But if that hasn't happened yet, this is why you endlessly put out effort and yet keep finding what happens in your unconscious over and over and over and over again. Because what's driving you is your unconscious. It's giving you the lens of what you see. I believe this happens on two different layers because our subconscious is going to affect how we feel, and also how we feel is going to affect how we think. So our thoughts are the electrical part of our electromagnetic being. So they're going to send out electrical impulses into the universe. Kind of think about it as an order form, right? But our feelings are going to magnetize those experiences to us. So if we're thinking of it, but we're feeling we're not good enough, there's tension there. And with that tension, we're actually going to block ourselves off because it doesn't feel safe ultimately. And you could say, Abby, yeah, I think it would feel safe to have a lot of money. I think it would feel safe to be loved. I hear you. I know you want that. You know that it's good for you. But if you had past experiences from your childhood, that's where this is programmed. So you have a snapshot from a brain that wasn't fully developed, which you can change. We're going to talk about in part 3. But in the meantime, there's a part of you who doesn't feel safe having that experience you desire. So it can be really confusing. And the more you get aware of this with your adult mind now, the easier it is to change it. But understanding how we manifest through the lens of our perceptions, right? So the first part is we're actually going to magnetize the old archetypes that are going to treat us the same way as our past. We're not good enough. We're not lovable, on and on. Now, the other part, the second layer, is actually our subconscious creates the lenses of what we're able to perceive of with our senses. So what we're able to be aware of that is existing right now in the possibility. If we don't feel we're good enough and somebody comes up to us and they're like, oh my God, that was amazing. For instance, for me, early on, I had huge beliefs that I was not good enough, that somebody was going to catch me on these videos and they were going to call me out, and then everyone was going to know I wasn't good enough. So when a message would pop up in terms of like a comment, I would cringe. And if they did say, oh my God, that was so good, I would pass it off as like, it wasn't that great. Anyone can do this. That's what was going on internally. So I was energetically pushing that energy away because unconsciously I didn't feel good enough. So that made me feel uncomfortable. That made me feel, oh no, if they found out I was really not good enough, I'm gonna be in threat. So if you can just start to understand these, that's the first step to start to unravel them and dissolve them when we shift our perspective and we know better. But it's important and it's vital for you to understand that all the potentials from step 1 in quantum physics, superposition, as well as the double slit experiment shows everything exists now. What affects that? Attention. And where is your current attention? Your current attention is going based on your subconscious beliefs. That is where you manifest from. If this video is resonating and you would like my help to dive into your unique experience, I'm still offering one-on-one sessions. So far, I've seen incredible breakthroughs and helped people to take their power back, get themselves unstuck and step into their power. I would love to help you as well. If that resonates, there is a link below. Click that, fill out that form, and I will email you. This is the invisible world that you're finding in your visible world that you can tangibly interact with. And ideally, as you start to read this as a byproduct, as you start to see, oh, okay, these people are, I feel a little bit rejected here. Okay. Oh, okay. What does that make me? Oh, I feel that if I don't get the raise, that it means that I'm not good enough. Oh, no. I see that this is a chance to choose myself. Oh, okay. I can see the interpretation of what I want it to mean based on my current perceptions. Now realize that these glasses, these perceptional lenses, perceptional bias, if you can start to understand, no matter what you believe about yourself, you have a perceptional bias. That perceptional bias can help you, support you as you change these, right? So as you change these lenses, the perceptional bias, don't you love this chaos right now of this drawing? But your perceptional bias can shift to, oh wow, I believe I'm going to perceptionally see only those who support and love me and find the money and find the happiness. But if you right now have a perceptional lens that's not supporting your desires, it's going to be like that group that I talked about early on. No matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, you're always left without. You have nothing to show. You're unable to create the life you want because you first got to change your perception, your self-concept, your self-image. That's the most important part. When you do, it changes the lenses. When you change the lens of what you can see, you're able to perceive of an entirely new world. Your subconscious takes in between 10 to 50 million pieces of information. It's going through here, from this realm of endless possibilities. Now, all you're able to take into your conscious mind, all that's able to go through those lenses is 40 pieces of information, which line up with whatever it is right now that you believe about yourself. Now I want to show you what you can do to break free of this endless cycle and pattern of powerlessness, feeling stuck and hopeless. So the more and more work I do with myself and the more I work with other people, the more I see it's about letting go. It's about letting go of the illusion of who you think you are. Now, you weren't born thinking, you know what? I'm going to develop a limiting belief that I'm not good enough. Let's spice it up as if life wasn't stressful enough. Let's give ourselves this little obstacle. You didn't do that. You had a very real experience when you were a child. And as a child, even when you're in the womb of your biological mother, till about 7 years old, you're in alpha and theta brainwaves, meaning that you're a giant sponge. And also take into consideration that you don't have a fully developed mind. So you're seeing these things happening. They're programming in straight to your subconscious. Even if you don't right now have a memory of it, you could have an implicit memory, meaning that doesn't need your conscious awareness to process, to store. It just stores. Now, once you become aware of this, that's when you can start to change it. You don't have to remember all of these different things that happened. It's important that you understand how it happened. That's going to give you the power of your adult mind now. So as a kid, we put our caregivers on a pedestal, even if they're emotionally reckless, even if they are an adult who's into horrible abusive behavior, or maybe they're a very loving parent, but they just emotionally don't know what's going on, or maybe they're really in a triggered state and they can only give so much. No matter what your experience was, an abusive environment or somebody who tried, we're not blaming our caregiver about this experience. What we're doing is focusing on your experience so we can understand what is in your projector. Because whatever's in this is what you're projecting on to the canvas of your reality, and that's what you're going to pick up. A lot of people try to change what the canvas, but this is where all change. This is where you change and start to being able to really tap into the power of manifestation. So to give you some examples, maybe you had a caregiver who was really, really loving, but you don't do that. Little kids don't talk up. Hey, don't question that. Hey, you didn't clean your room? Maybe it's a cold shoulder, right? So you thought, okay, well, I'm not lovable unless I work for it, unless I earn it. So that's going to get stored into your subconscious. I'm also going to put the projector because this is what is storing onto the lens of what you're going to be able to see. And if you're right now experiencing a lack of money, or no matter how hard you work, nothing happens in terms of money growing, this energy exchange between your primary caretaker and how you associate with having your needs met, if you had a lot of siblings and there just wasn't quite enough, if your caretaker was really, really busy or they were kind of disassociative, you're going to associate that you have to give, and then maybe you get a little bit, but there's never quite enough. That can manifest in money, because guess what? Money is a way of us taking care of our needs. So if you go back early on, what was that dynamic? For a lot of my life, it was feast or famine. And if I looked back, that was my perception of how I got my needs met, or what was going on in terms of my access to my needs. Even if it wasn't true, it was true because that was your experience. Perception is reality. So you can start to see that these interactions early on, who you had to be or who you couldn't be. So maybe when you fully expressed yourself, that made people feel uncomfortable. Whoa, why do you have that idea? Hey, we need to keep it down. We can't be that excited. We can't be that happy. So you were taught, oh, okay, when I'm me, that's wrong. It threatens my ability to stay connected, and my connection means my survival. You can just start to see all this stuff going on that's storing unconscious, and then you go through life and you grow and your mind grows, but these things don't grow until today. And that's what we're doing right now. So how do you change this? Well, we need adult you, the you that is smart enough and loving enough to yourself to be watching this video, to be going out and researching to help yourself. We need you, and you're here. This is beautiful. So little kid you needs adult you, okay? I'm not asking you to go back here and recall and relive all of these painful experiences. Do not do that. That is not necessary. What we're looking for you to do is just start to become aware of this. Okay, what are my unconscious beliefs? Okay, if somebody says no to me, if somebody doesn't call, if I don't get the raise, what story am I going to tell myself about that? That's going to get you straight to this, okay? So what I want you to do then is when you have it, okay, well, I have to earn love. Who I am is not good enough. It's what I do. Any story like that, what I want you to do is start to see, okay, do I remember, can I just remember one aspect? That's how I felt when I was a kid. Maybe my caretaker told me, you know, if we go back here, that it's not good if a little kid is talking a lot, or if a little kid is very curious. Why are you always so, oh God, you're asking all these questions. Can this mind, these little beautiful eyes, see you as a child? And imagine a 7-year-old kid you know now, or if you're out in the grocery store and you see a kid, see how innocent and naive that child is, and precious, and they're not the cause of anything that the adult does. So can you start to see this old situation? Then no, that's not true, that curiosity is bad. This adult maybe didn't have space for it. That didn't have to do with you. And we're going to start breaking these cords. We're going to start re-reasoning with your logical brain, with your reasoning brain, and seeing this situation differently, which is going to start dissolving the glue that those subconscious beliefs are true. Think about animals. Do you say, okay, well, did you do your housework today? Okay, so you didn't make your bed. Okay, did you sweep? Right? You don't expect your animals to do chores to earn love, to earn food, right? You give it to them because essentially they're inherently worthy and deserving of it. However you need to think about it, maybe it's for plants. Can you find something in nature that you can see fundamentally, inherently, it's worthy and deserving of love, of attention, of life? Start to see you that way. You actually never can earn love. It's freely given. Love is not transactional. If you're transacting with somebody like that, that's not love. Can you start to see that this person didn't have space or capacity or the emotional maturity to give you what you needed? It's not because you don't deserve it or are incapable of having it. Starting to see that with your adult mind now can completely change the way you manifest and create that energy of attention and make it more effective, so you don't find yourself exhausted and you don't find yourself endlessly repeating the same old pattern. You deserve it. You are worthy of changing your life to what you'd prefer to experience. Now, these 3 steps are vital to being able to really tap into the power of manifestation, but it is essential for you to learn to really let go of past experiences. This next video right here is going to show you what I call reverse visualization, which is going to help you through the process of seeing old situations through your adult eyes and reclaiming your worth and shifting those subconscious programs so you can manifest what you want. Thank you for watching. I love y'all, and I will see you on the next one.